right, this is Spiritual Art of War, back at it again with another episode. Good evening to you gentlemen and a few of you ladies that are listening. Gonna get right into it. This topic is gonna be about single mothers. And this is one of the big things, and women, I think they have a hard time understanding this because they don't care about what men value. They just care about what they think is important to them. And going through social media, you'll see a female make a comment, on a post, like maybe like in one of these, Instagram news sites. I like those Instagram news sites because you kind of get quick information to where you don't have to spend a lot of time searching for certain top news sources. And then if you want to dig deeper, you can always pull up more articles and learn more later. But they'll make comments, and then when you click on their profile, some of these women are very good looking, and you keep scrolling down and you see, voila, you see a child or two or even three. And these women, they really believe that men in this economy, with all the demands they're making, with giving less back, they're not being reciprocal. They're asking more and giving less. Okay? It's like somebody trying to sell you a 2010 Toyota Corolla for the price of a, ES350 Lexus 2025 model. You're getting less car, but you're paying more for it. You're not getting the semi-autonomous driving. You're not getting the safety features of the lane keep assist. You're not getting the self, the self-driving or the self-parking, parallel parking. You're not getting the panoramic roof. You're not getting the 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. You're not getting none of that. But they want you to pay full price for it. And what women don't understand is that men assess things on value. And let me tell you something. Men will act, there's always a good chunk of men that will make mistakes once or twice. But most men, they will not make mistakes 3 times. So if you get a man that doesn't get it the first time and he jumps out there and he takes on a woman with baggage and she shows him her ass, you know what I'm saying? She literally shows him that she ain't on nothing and she don't appreciate nothing. There's a large percentage of men that will say, not again. But there's some men that'll do it again and they'll think it's just a fluke. And then when they get that second taste, bad taste in their mouth, the third time they're going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm not doing that again. And what women don't understand is that men are collecting data in real time and sharing it with each other in real time. And what's happening is, as each year passes, there's less fools out there in the market for these women to play. And it's happening at a rapid pace. This is the reason why you see women complaining about not being able to find dates. Why men are not asking them out. Why men are not talking to them. Why men are not approaching them. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to actually get heavily into some of these things when it comes to these women. Okay? And this is a natural progression of men protecting their own sanity, their own peace. In this time, and we're entering into a time like no other. I think there's a lot of people that think there's just going to be this bump in the road and that women are just going to, they're just going to eventually come to the table and, act accordingly. They're going to be Stepford wives like it's 1950s, Leave It to Beaver. That's not happening the way you think it's going to happen. And then they think it's going to be some kind of this male renaissance and reindustrialization. These MAGA people, they really think it's just going to be this renaissance period of like the 1950s all over again, and manufacturing and, great jobs, paying good, and, affordable housing for your family and white picket fence. That stuff is not happening in Babylon. That stuff is done. But what it is that men are choosing themselves first, and this is going to be a problem. And you even see it, and this is what I noticed too. A lot of automakers are actually realizing this. And I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm tying all this together with the single mothers. So men that are realizing, you know what? If I can't get the kind of woman that's gonna respect me and value me, then I'm gonna put that value myself, and they're gonna do different things. Some men are going the route of being, passport bros. Some guys will travel. Some guys will become tricks. This is what it is. Some guys will go overseas and they'll live in another country as long as this world is still in a state of peace before World War III kicks off. But they'll go over there and they'll get themselves a woman. You see examples of like that with Richie Mack, okay? Who has his whole, Thailand channel. He's actually an actor from LA, moved out after a divorce to Thailand, and he has a Thai woman who takes extremely good care of him, and he's doing very well financially. He has a popping YouTube channel, and you see a lot of younger guys, and I've seen it. They said one of the things that they're noticing is a trend of younger men moving to these different countries, Latin America, Asia, and before it was these expats were generally men that were, 45 plus, retirees that would go there if they didn't have success in the American market, or let's say they went through a divorce and they want to be with women that are not infected with the full-fledged of the Babylonian feminist poison, then they'll go to these different countries. That's how it was historically. But the last, you could say 5 years since the CV-19 shutdown happened, men started looking and saying, what is out there in the world for me to see? And when, YouTube really popped off, and a lot of men started realizing, I've never traveled. Let me go to these different spots. Spots that older men were going to, or guys in the military knew about, but not your everyday, not your average man. And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I've seen some guys. I forgot their YouTube channel, but these brothers was from Houston. It was three of them, but two of the guys was from Houston. They were in their mid-20s, already out in Thailand. And these were guys that was not no nerdy type. There were no Marquise Brown Lees. And that's not to hate on them. I'm just telling you how these B-dubs, what kind of men that they want. These are the kind of dudes that these B-dubs would want to be with in the city of Houston. You know what I'm saying? And there was already I'd rather just deal with the Thai woman. I'd rather deal with the woman over in Thailand. You know what I'm saying? Now they're gonna live their Babylonian lifestyle over there. They just want to transport that future lifestyle, on pennies on a dollar over there in places like Thailand. But that's their prerogative. That's how they want to live in these last days. It is what it is, right? But what's happening is these men are chipping away little by little. It's two here, it's three there. If one young dude who's 25 years old who can get women here, but realize his money can stretch farther if he goes overseas, he starts vlogging, he can live comfortably in a place like Thailand. They had Rolling Loud in Thailand. Why do you think they had Rolling Loud in Thailand? Because they had so many people from pretty much America, Britain, Australia, New Zealand, basically a lot of these English-speaking countries, and of course these other European countries as well, that were moving over there or that were visiting and spending extended period of time there. And Rolling Loud saw an opportunity, and it was a very successful Rolling Loud concert, to go to Thailand. And it worked, and it makes sense. I believe Thailand is the number one travel destination on the planet, and for many reasons. It's not even just the woman, but the food. Now I'm not into some of their crazy food, if you know what I mean, but you got some, chicken pad thai, you got some good, some good spices in their food. They also got American cuisine. They have some high-end restaurants. You can get a lot of different healthy choice items. You also have a lot of good gyms. If you're in places like Bangkok, you can get high-speed internet. They have world-class malls, movie theaters. You also have beaches, resorts. They got a lot to offer. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn how to do Muay Thai, you can go there and you can get into a Muay Thai class. I seen a young Asian chick, baddie too. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by baddie, Chun-Li. Chun-Li in real life though. You know what I'm saying? And she was from Toronto. And she moved out there for a while. She was there for a year. She's a fitness type. She moved out there. I think she's like half Chinese, half Vietnamese. So she spent time in Vietnam as well. And she ended up meeting another Westerner over there who became her boyfriend. I don't know if they're still together, but I just seen, her pop up that stuff. So even though she's an Asian girl, she can go there and go get an American guy. You got certain women that are on that level. You know what I'm saying? So even though she went over there, she can still pull an American guy in Thailand. But she was like on another level, like for real. Like I'm not going to do any heavy editing right now, but maybe in the future I'll add different pieces in when it comes to certain people, so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But there's also, I've seen now because of this, I even seen a black woman who moved out over there with her son. She lived in Austin. She sold her house. She moved over there and to Thailand. And part of the reason why she's really doing it, because what is here in America for her? This woman, she's a professional woman. She has a son. Her son was super fruity, tutti frutti Rudy, bruh. So he was already out of there. Her son was like 12 years old or something like that. And then she moving him to Thailand. So that's going to be a whole nother ball game. And but she had a nice 2-bedroom apartment, but it was like far out from the city center. Bangkok's a big city, so she wasn't in the city center, but she found a place that takes like a couple of public transportation stops. Takes like 30 minutes for her to get to the center of the city, or like for her to take like an Uber into the center of the city. But she works from home. I think her son does like homeschooling or something like that, like some kind of homeschool program, if I'm not mistaken. And it was an interesting interview. But this is what happens when women are survivalists as well. They know they need men intrinsically survive. So as men are shooing away from these type of women, single mothers, ratchets, overweight women with bad attitudes, all these different things that are negative that make men feel repulsed. You're going to have women that are going to try and make changes to try and secure a man. Okay? And I'm telling you, you'll have women that right now, I'm telling you, there's a woman right now that got like their custody of their child, and they are giving, like Kevin Samuels said, they're giving over their children over to their fathers. If they got a son and their son is like middle school age, they'll probably be like, hey, they'll tell the father to look after the son, because it's a stigma that's coming upon these single mothers, and they're seeing it more and more on social media, and they don't believe it. But you got to think about it. If a woman that's single with no kids is having a hard time getting a man, what do you think a woman with a kid is having a hard time getting? And I'm not talking about these baddies. There's some women out there, like I said before, some of y'all get mad, but there's some women, they're on a level of beauty. They're on a level of beauty that despite them having kids, they're going to have options. They're going to have simps. They're going to have guys, maybe not the kind of men that they find fully attractive, but they'll have men that will still be knocking on the door and making promises. It's just that a lot of times these women that are at that level, they've had such a high echelon of experience of life and men that they really want a certain type of man, and they don't want to go down from that. Okay? It's like Brittany Renner. Even Brittany Renner, and see, remember, you're thinking about men like us that think a certain way. There's men that don't think like us. So even someone like me, I wouldn't want to be with Brittany Renner. I wouldn't want to be with Brittany Renner. I wouldn't want to have a relationship with Brittany Renner. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin Gates would. And Kevin Gates is richer than me, more clouded up than me. Got way more women that want him than want me. But I wouldn't want her. But there's still a man out there that's willing to step into that angle. Just like you see Stephon Diggs dealing with Cardi B and all her kids and all her baggage. Even getting threats from her ex-husband over the hair picture that came out, right? And if you go back to the channel, go back a few weeks, I did a little episode on that. So you got to think about that type of stuff, bruh. Like, this is real. You know what I'm saying? And these single mothers, and I'm going to go back to the single mothers and just showing that the market is not there for them like they think. It's just not there. And they're seeing it, bro. Because I'm telling you, like, this is how I knew that this, like, put it like this. If you could think about the baddest chick that you can think of, and that you could think of that has a kid, ask yourself, if you had the opportunity to wife her up, would you be willing to play stepdaddy, be with her and play stepdaddy for her kid? That lets you know whether or not you really, really be like, yo, I would not do it. Because what you're saying is that you have an actual standard, like a clear-cut standard of what you're willing to deal with. And the fact is that women have not shown that they actually are appreciative of a stepfather, of a man stepping in. And it's funny, I'll see women make comments and be like, oh, I had a stepfather and he was great to me. I wouldn't be nowhere without him. And you know what I would do? See, this is what I do. I like doing this. I will go to their IG just to see if they have a picture of their stepdaddy. And I'll go down like 15 rows. I'm telling you, every single last one of them said that I did not see their stepdad. I did like 12, 13 of them jokers. Now, maybe one day a woman's going to say it and she's actually going to have her stepdad on there. Okay? I think I seen one chick, she's an IG model out here in Houston. She had a stepdad and she actually was like putting pictures of him and things like that, like on a semi-regular basis. And I didn't know that was her stepdad until later on when he had gotten sick. He had eaten some food. It was like pork, and it was not cooked properly, and it led to a bacterial infection in his brain, and he, had to be sedated. It was bad. He had to go through surgery, all this kind of stuff on his head. It was like a real serious situation. She had pictures of him, and she was like saying how much she cares about him and how, he's been raising her since she was like 2 years old or whatever, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? And so that's like one I can think of. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but I'm just giving you an example. But, nowadays you don't know what you're going to get. And remember, if you are playing stepdaddy to a kid and that woman, if you develop a relationship with that child and that woman decides to leave you or be treacherous, step out on you, you lose access to that child, period. You lose access to that child, point blank, period. So men are not willing to put their heart into that. See, women don't think men actually have emotions. They actually think that they're so self-centered and narcissistic. They literally think when they do these things, they don't even consider how you would feel. They don't consider that stuff at all. Because you're not supposed to feel any type of way. In fact, you're supposed to feel how she feels. That they project their own feelings onto you. They expect you to feel what she feels. Meaning, if she's happy, if she feels like she's going to be happier to leave you, you should be happy for her. That's how she thinks. So men are like, no mas. We're not doing this no more. We done seen too much. We done seen too many stories. And that's it. And women are feeling it. You know what I'm saying? They're feeling it, bro. And let me tell you something. Some of the baddest chicks got kids, and I understand why. Because if a lot of men, especially in the so-called black community, they want to be the first baby. They want, at the bare minimum, want to be the first baby daddy of a baddie. So they're not pulling out for real. You know what I'm saying? They're not pulling out. They're trying to knock her up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times these women are trying to have babies anyway. So they have baby rabies or baby fever, and they want to get a man. They want to get a baby. And then they'll find a guy, and then they'll leave that guy after the baby comes because he already fulfilled his purpose. These women are on some animalistic, type stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're out there she bear with her cubs. You'd be like, where Papa Bear at? You know what I'm saying? That's how these women be rolling these days. Real talk. So, yeah, some of the baddest. I'm in the city, man. I'm in the H. Maybe, I mean, some of the baddest. I'm telling you, bro. You see a chick, you see a woman in Houston, and she like, is she 25? Is she 25 and she bad? Like 80% chance she's gonna have a kid. Cause the thing about it, and the woman don't even understand this. Like if you're really you see, and women don't even women know when another woman is really hot stuff, when she's really super fine, and this is how you know, because women know when a woman is absolutely gorgeous, because they will literally be obsessed with that woman. They kind of idolize and look up to her, so they know. And if a woman is like a certified baddie for real, like dudes is not using the rubber, bro. They're not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they're not even gonna. I'm telling you, they're just not. A lot of guys. There's some guys that will use regardless. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that are disciplined on that. You know what I'm saying? But when you looking at just the amount of opportunities that she has to be with men, bro, somebody gonna knock it up by 21. So somebody's gonna hit that right ovulation cycle, and that egg will be fertilized. And gestation will be coming in 9-10 months. That baby will be popping out. I'm telling you. And that's why these young fine ones in a lot of these major cities, they be having kids. Because it's not even like biologically, you weren't the reason why there's damn near 9 billion people on the planet, because men were not pulling out. Men were not using what's it called. I mean, so you're telling me that a woman who's fine as all get out, that dudes is using condoms with her, dudes is pulling out? 9 times out of 10, they're not. And if they're in a relationship, if they're in a situationship and she really, really like the dude, and she's letting him, because women, when they really like a guy, deep down in their subconscious, they want the guy to get her pregnant. They want to be pregnant by that guy. So women are not even thinking like about the outcome of this behavior, because they like the guy that much. And then voila, she's pregnant, and now she's expecting. And now she's having, a gender reveal. You know what I'm saying? And you like, what the helly? Okay? Some women are very intentional with who they choose. And that's the new chick. You got new chick girls. They're very intentional. If they get a certain caliber of men, they're like, oh, I'm going to wait till one of these rappers or entertainers knock me up, or one of these influencers that got a bag. You know what I'm saying? They'll wait for that type. You know what I'm saying? They'll make sure they'll be on the pill. You know what I'm saying? They'll get the morning after pill. Bro, I'm telling you, they're going to be on all that. They're going to make sure that, because even if they have a guy that they find attractive, but he doesn't have the money or the status, that guy is not going to be the one, 7 times out of 10, because sometimes these women, they'll go get a baby with a guy they really like, and then they'll come and drag themselves over to a man of higher caliber, so to speak, and then try and get him on the team as a second baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? That happens too, right? But, it kind of is what it is, man. But it's a deep topic. I'm going to have to probably split it in different ways and kind of delve deeper into this subject. But let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next episode.